Hello class, today we're going to be going over multiple TTS bots for Sammi. Now if you haven't seen the original Sammi video, that goes over how to set up a TTS bot in the first place, install it, what plugins I'd recommend. So if you haven't seen that already, I'd recommend going to watch that first because this one is a little more complicated and we'll be skipping over some of the installation because it assumes that you already know how. So multiple TTS bots is a little complicated in Sammi, a little more complicated. It's definitely doable. So what you need to do first is have two still images of your TTS bots. So you can skip this step if you want your TTS bot to just be able to speak multiple languages or anything like that. But if you want two different voices in your streams from two different characters, this is how you got to do it. So start off by having the two still TTS bots exactly where you want them for when they're speaking. Because how it's going to work is you're going to have two modes. You're going to have a TTS off and a TTS on. So when one TTS bot is talking, the mouth of the other one won't open as well, because you can't separate the bridge audio and just have it work automatically. So you'll need to code it in Sammi so that it'll do it for you every time a different character speaks. So add in your next two sources, which is going to be your TTS on, and that is the reactive image plugin. So you'll have both of those on now. So what you need to do is now you need to open up Sammi. I'm going to use the example that I've already got set up, which is my intervention redeem, which had multiple characters on screen. Okay, let's get into the coding side of things. So make your button, you can change the appearance, so change the name on it, and then go to triggers and have it trigger from every single Twitch chat message. All of them. You can limit it later if you want, but for now let's get it set up with the randomizer. And then how the randomizer works is it will randomly assign people a TTS bot, but it doesn't change. After they've been locked into that one, they will stay on that one because it's based off their Twitch ID. If you want to limit it, you can also put it to mods, subs, founders, VIPs, etc. But for now, every chat message, and let's go into it. So first off, you pull the data that you need, the message, and then you will get everyone's user ID. A user ID is basically a long number that Twitch assigns you when you first join the platform. So it's not a private number or anything. Everyone has one. But what it is even if you change your username, display name, etc. in the future, your ID will always stay the same. So grab that number, and what we're going to do is we're going to remove some of the numbers in the string and just get the last digit, which you can see up here, 2, 2. So we do that in the string remove section. So just throw in your TTS check number, this variable here, save it as ID check, and then you're going to remove the first digit to the 8th digit, so we're going to be left with the 9th. Next thing is optional, but I like to string count the chat message because if it's the entire length of the B movie, I don't want to hear that. But you can set your own value. So this I've just left at 200 characters, which means people could rickroll me 2 lines at a time, but more often than not, they don't. Okay, now here is where we actually split the TTS bots. So if you remember, we have one on the left, one on the right. And all we're going to do is we're going to check if the ID check, the digit that we have here, the 2, is greater than 6 or equal or less than 5. So if it is 6 or greater, we're going to turn on the left TTS and have the right off TTS visible. And that means we're going to turn the left off and the right on and make them invisible. I'll just show you what that means quickly. So if we go back here, the left TTS on is going to look like this. And that means when your TTS is talking through the bridge, it will be visible that it's the left character talking. So if we go back here, it'll also make sure that the other one is invisible. So when you want to assign your characters' voices, you just put their voice in this section here, the DTSK web speak. So this is where you choose the voice for the character on the left. I have captions for most of my streams, so if you want captions, you can just add a text source and add this line here so that you're changing it so that it will read as I have my left person set as Pedret, and it'll read the message. And so every time someone sends a message, it will come up with the caption of what is actually being said and who is saying it. You can also use, if you pull the person's username up here, you can have their username show in specific, but I just like sticking to Pedret and Pedret. So in option 2, if it's equal or less than 5, you just do the opposite. So instead of TTS left on, you have TTS left off and the right one on, and then you turn the other two off. So all that looks like is, if we go here, this one will go to the back and this one will turn on. And that's pretty much as complicated as it gets. It's easier than it seems. It's just trying to get it to work the first time can take a bit of time. So give yourself all the time you need. Again, to give someone a different voice, all you have to do is choose the different voice in 𝙤𝙘𝙘𝙞𝙀 in the second one. So you can see I use someone called Catalina for the first voice, and then I use my regular TTS bot for the other one on the right. I hope the tutorial helped. I also would love if you could comment down below what you're working on to try and get this. And if you have any questions, also just let me know below. I'm happy to try and help if I can. I'm still learning some of this stuff myself. And if you want to see more people using TTS in creative ways, there are plenty of creators out there doing and cooking absolutely amazing things like Shindigs, 𝙢𝙤𝙙𝙞𝙀, and Blurbs. Now, if you want to catch any of my streams, I stream over on Twitch around 3 times a week, and I'm also on Twitter, or X nowadays, I guess, and a few other platforms, which you can check out below. Thank you again for watching, and I hope this helped.